Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that seems like common sense but really isn't in today's world, and that is fiscal responsibility, or your money, how to manage your money. And this will pertain to people with ADHD or not. It just really depends on how you are with money and what you know and what you don't. And the fact that they don't teach financial management or how to handle your money in high school is really, it confounds me. It really does, because it is so essential for you to be able to manage your money and pay your bills when you get out of high school or go to college, or after you graduate and get a job and start working, or whatever you do. It's essential that you know how to handle your money. So it still just baffles me that they don't teach this in school. So a lot of the things I say are common sense in this video, and some of them maybe not so much to all of you, especially you younger folks out there. Now, don't get me wrong, this video is not for everyone. This is just simply some of the things that I've done throughout my life. I'm 55, and so I'm not in a place where a lot of you are that are younger, that are watching this video. And some of these things may help you, they may not. But one of the things that you must do, you must make a budget. I started working when I was 14, and I have always been on a budget, whether I needed to or not, but it helped me to acquire the things that I wanted to buy with all the work that I was putting in saving, or just if there was something that I wanted to buy, I had the ability to buy it with my own funds rather than ask my parents or whatever. But the one thing that was essential in that was making a budget. And you've got to do that, and you've got to write those things down. And it's so easy to make a budget. You can do this on Excel or spreadsheet and all that stuff, but I like to do it on a sheet of paper. I actually have mine printed out on computer paper, and I physically just write it down, what goes in and what goes out. And I mean, that way I actually have to take pen in hand and write down, my mortgage costs this much every month. I have this much coming in. So you need to line up all of your assets and your liabilities, and you need to make sure that you have more coming in than you have going out. So very common sense, but so many people do not do this, and so many people fail to make a budget because, for real, it's intimidating. If you have a lot of debt, you kind of don't want to acknowledge the fact that you've got to sit down and make this budget and not spend it on other things that might be fun to you. I, for lack of a better term, am not really affected by the fun factor or fear of missing out. I'm pretty frugal with most of my money, and I'll get to that later, but there is a difference between being frugal and being a cheapskate or a tightwad. There's a huge difference, and like I said, I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. But you know, you've got to figure out what you're going to do first of all in your life to have livelihood, and how you're going to make money. But when you get that money, you work so hard for it, you don't just want to throw it away and waste it on $5 coffees or whatever coffees cost these days. I am not a coffee connoisseur. I have coffee out of my Keurig every now and then, maybe once a month or something. It's just not something I'm into, but you may waste your money in those ways. A lot of people do. Another thing you might consider is to never have credit card debt. If you do have a credit card and you charge a lot of items on there and you can't pay for it at the end of the month, you can't afford it. Let me just say that one more time. If you charge on your credit card and you can't pay it off in full at the end of the month when the bill comes due, you can't afford it. So don't do it. That is just simple, common sense. Just don't charge if you can't pay it off, because you're doing yourself a disservice by paying interest on food items or grocery shopping or a $5 coffee or latte or whatever it is that you want to buy. Now, what is one thing we all have in common, no matter where we're from in the world or what religion or race or whatever? We all have 24 hours in a day. So everyone has 24 hours in one day, and that means your whole day needs to be planned out. So what are you going to do with your time? Time management equals money. So if you manage your time and you're able to do that successfully, you should make more money if you are constantly thinking about it. I personally think about my finances every day. I check on all my accounts every day, but that's just a daily habit with me. But I am older and I kind of have to do that because I'm approaching retirement, and it's just prudent to check on those things. So it's a good habit to start even when you're young. So good financial management is prudent for you to manage your money and to manage your time as well. So one other thing I want to talk about is passive income. And so what is passive income? Everybody talks about this all the time, but I don't make any money on YouTube. I'm not monetized, and in order for me to be monetized and to give back to you all, you would have to smash that subscribe button and give this video a like. And I have a long way to go before that would ever happen. However, the algorithm on YouTube is sometimes can be brutal, and but it would really help me if you're watching, if you would subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate it. Passive income is not what I get from YouTube, because I don't get any money from YouTube, but it's things like your dividends that you would receive from, if you have a stock portfolio or a money market account, you'd get an interest dividend from that per month, or some of them are quarterly, or CDs, certificates of deposits. You can earn dividends on that as well, and generally those pay higher, especially if you have a big chunk of money. Like if you have an extra 20 grand and you can shove it into that CD, you're gonna earn a lot more interest on that than you would just a regular checking account or savings account or money market account. So that's always a good idea. Now, one thing I do a lot, and this really pertains to you if you have good credit, and it is essential to have an actual credit score. And why is that? It's important because if you think you can get by just on cash alone, that's great, but it becomes a problem when you're trying to reserve a hotel room or airplane tickets, or if you want to go to a trip or something. It really helps to have a credit card or a credit rating, if you will, if you want to lease an apartment or buy a house. The lender needs to see that you are financially prudent and sound in your decision making when it comes to money, and if you're going to be reliable and pay them back. So that's what they're looking for when they look up your credit score. And if you don't have one, you're not going to be able to rent an apartment or lease a house or buy a house or any of those things. It's going to be very difficult. So it does help to have an actual credit score, even if you don't want one. But if you do have one, you don't want it to be really below 600. I mean, you really want it to be above 650. 700, 850 is, I think 850 is the top. And I fortunately have a good credit rating, but that's because I work at it. I've always worked to achieve a good credit score so that I can get financing for the things that I need, like this house that I live in. And so that is important, but it passive income, again, going back to, so you got money market account, you got CDs, you got stocks and bonds, and anything you do on social media, if you get kickbacks from that, or you sponsor products, that's great for you. I personally don't have that luxury, but that is a form of passive income, and also a good way to manage your money and your finances. And so take all of these things into consideration when you are trying to manage your money, whether you have ADHD or not. And as I said earlier, please smash that subscribe button and like this video, and please comment if you would like to. I would really appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching the video.